Okay, so the future of Classic do look kinda grim, and Blizzard need to start deciding what the hell they're gonna do with this game, because at this point, I think many people are tired of getting the same recycled game over and over again. I can speak for myself. I contemplated whether I should play the soon-to-come TBC pre-patch and just play TBC again. And then I was like, nah, like why? I already did that. I don't want to do it for like the second time, right? It's so weird. Like we had that not too long ago, at least. You know, maybe time flies by too fast for me. I'm getting old. But still, I don't want to play the same game over and over again. I want something new. I think the solution, the best course to go like all around is Classic Plus. I think it will make new players love the game and old players love the game, because older players hate retail and they want Classic Plus, and new players can have a fresh start where everyone has equal footing. So I really wish Blizzard would take it to heart, especially after the success of Turtle WoW, but we know Blizzard, and that most likely not going to happen.
2026 is shaping up to be the most important year
loud.
in Classic WoW's history, and that's really not an exaggeration. We've had Classic since 2019 now, over 6 years, and for those first few years, things were relatively straightforward. We knew where the game was going to be heading. We have Vanilla, which makes sense that we do TBC, and of course Wrath of the Lich King after that.
And also, it was after many years of this version of the game not being available, so naturally a lot of new gamers have, like, you know, that grew on World of Warcraft, not grew playing World of Warcraft, just grew up hearing about this game, finally got to try it, you know, the way it was supposed to be played, right? Like back in the old days.
And then things start to get a bit more murky. We do Cataclysm and Mists of Pandaria, and well, who knows after that. We've had seasonal service too, Season of Discovery offered something different and experimental, and then
BFA Classic. Dude, I remember everyone memed on that, and it looks like reality more and more each day. It's crazy. Shadowlands Classic.
Anniversary Realms more recently gave us a fresh start. The path felt relatively clear, even if we always didn't know the exact dates. But approaching 2026, now I feel there's a genuine sense of uncertainty hanging over the entire Classic ecosystem. We've reached a crossroads where Blizzard really has to commit to making some big decisions on the future of the game, and they can't afford to just keep playing.
The well has ran dry, and that's what happens when you constantly drink out of the same well over and over again. You draw water from it, eventually it's gonna dry out. And you know, that's why I always say, like, Blizzard has absolutely no idea what they're doing, and they've just gone completely evil, because, again, I'm saying this all the time, right? The famous Tolkien quote, which I don't remember, like, to a full degree. It's like, you know, evil cannot create anything new. It can only corrupt that which good forces has made. So, this is Blizzard. Exactly. They don't know what to do. They're like, oh, no, we can create a good expansion. Re-release TBC. Like, okay, Wrath of the Lich King now. The Season of Discovery. Okay, Season of Discovery sounds cool. What is that? Vanilla WoW, but with slight changes. Like, woo! Cool. Dude, who cares? Like, just make an entirely new experience that is actually good. And players will come. There is no good MMO at the market. Every single MMO right now is not that great, except for Guild Wars 2, but it's horizontal, so it's not gonna suit the taste of many players. There's still a huge spot, a vacant throne, for a good vertical MMO, and Blizzard can easily retake the crown. Well, to be honest, I still think they have it, because Classic is still the best MMORPG out there, in my opinion. But, I mean, like, they can definitely do it. They can be the most popular again. I mean, they just need to be good and know what the hell they're doing, but I guess this is too difficult for them.
Things out and seeing how they go. Today I want to go over where Classic is right now, why the next year matters so much, and what needs to happen if this game truly will have a future beyond it just being re-releases. Let's start by looking at what is actually available for Classic players right now. We've got multiple versions of the game running simultaneously, each with their own player bases and content schedules. Mists of Pandaria Classic is currently the endpoint for the realms that began in 2019. Mists of Pandaria launched midway through 2025, and as of December they're on Phase 3 with Throne of Thunder just having released. The thing is, Mists of Pandaria I don't think is quite...
I can't believe they actually actually added pandas, man. It's crazy. They based it on a single Warcraft 3 character. Like, this is wild beyond belief. I think this was really the point where people kind of understood that Blizzard has officially died. Like, I'm pretty sure this was the point.
Hitting the amount of players that was expected of it, given how fondly a lot of people look back to it. And I believe there's a number of reasons why that's happened, such as Mr. Pandaria Remix coming to retail WoW much earlier than Mock Classic did, as well as...
Dude, I swear to God, every time I see Blizzard slap Remix on something, I want to just break shit up. It's so cringe. Like, Remix, it's the same garbage. Stop making the same garbage over and over again and changing slight things. It's so annoying. They literally cannot create a good experience.
People feeling as though their time isn't being too well invested long term.
Also, these dragon people, they're so cringe. Like, there's a reason why nobody talked about this expansion. This is like the Void Century from One Piece. It's like Dragon's Blight. Sid Blight. Well, oops. Perhaps a little bit of a slip there.
In activities which aren't raiding or
Nobody's gonna
PvP,
remember
because
that.
ultimately no one really knows what's happening to their character in about a year's time. These realms are still ongoing, but where they will end, that's anyone's guess at the moment. And that's kind of the trend across many different versions of Classic. Season of Discovery launched its final phase in early 2025 now. This season started super strong, but it just went on and on for far longer than anyone anticipated. What was supposed to be seasonal content, by the way, started in November of 2023. This is, outside of Classic era, the longest running version of Classic ever, and it's supposed to be seasonal. There is still a small and dedicated player base.
Well, what the definition of a season? I mean, it can be like, you know, anything, right?
There, and Blizzard did assure those players that they'll continue running the servers, but for how long when the player base has dropped as much as it has, it's just another big question mark hanging over the Classic scene. Anniversary Realms have been the big success story of 2024 and 5 for Classic. It turns out when in doubt, just re-release it again and people will come back. And we know for Anniversary Realms they'll be progressing.
You know, it always warms my heart to see so many people in one place just beginning a journey. It's always fun. It doesn't matter if it's retail or not. I just love game launches. They're so fun, even though some of them are, you know, for the most part are buggy, like laggy mess. I think this is fine. Like, I love this. I love this. This is truly fine. It actually reminds me of my first day in Turtle WoW. I played on release when Embershy server was up, right, for the first day. It was so messy, but it was so fun. Like, seeing this many people running around each other and just trying to do the same quest and standing in line, it was so goddamn fun. I love this stuff.
To TBC with the pre-patch dropping on January 13th, 2026. But once again, beyond that, we're just going into the...
Yeah, so I was right. It was like 2 weeks from now. Damn. Yeah, again, I contemplated whether I should play it or not, but... Nah, like, I'm not gonna do the same thing over and over again. And also, I really do not miss the community. I just remembered why I quit the first time. I was like tier 2 raiding and everyone was super toxic towards each other, not necessarily me. And I just hate this environment, man. It's just not cool. Even if you're not the guy being targeted, it's just not fun place to be around. It's not. It just feels bad. It makes the entire ecosystem be this complete garbage, and it also affects you whether you like it or not. You're starting to become like angrier, you start to become like short-tempered, right? If someone doesn't do something right, you call their mouth for it, and it gets to you, man. Like, it creeps up on you. I try to be nice as much as I can, but even I break sometimes, and I'd rather just quit. Like, I don't want to become like them. It's garbage, right? Because everyone treats each other like that, you eventually become like that. And I just didn't want that for myself. It wasn't healthy, man. Like, I play these games to have fun, not to just argue with random weirdos online. Like, I'm not doing that.
Known. Why really care about anything other than explicitly raiding or PvP when you have no idea what's going to be happening to your character in a genre that is an MMO, which is supposed to be about the long term, and you having an idea of what will be there in the future for you to take part in?
True.
Are they going to stop at TBC? Will there be TBC error? Are they going to do RAF? Will there be RAF error? What happens after that? Again, no idea. There is
He's
also
absolutely
Classic
right.
Era and Hardcore Realms 2 that will exist as permanent homes that people will always be able to go back to. They're not quite as hype driven given that they're not receiving new content, but I feel as though environments such as this should be where classic content is preserved instead of us just doing fresh again and again and again. And that's really where classic...
Absolutely, and this would also cause player degradation because people don't know what the future of the character would be like. And I do know that Blizzard offers free transfers and stuff. It's not gonna cut it because you're splitting the fan base between so many clients. It's not gonna work. You need to unify World of Warcraft into one big thing, and that thing need to be Classic Plus. Like that's pretty much it. It's the only way out. I don't see any other way. It's either you run Classic to the ground and everyone just quits and stop playing that. Right now retail is dead already, nobody playing that because it's garbage. And yeah, I mean, you just need to unify the people. Yeah, you literally need to just do Classic Plus.
Is that heading into 2026. But here's the problem with all that, and I definitely touched on it during that introduction to the state of Classic.
Bro, look at this screen. Who wanna play like that? It's so annoying. Just remove add-ons. Dude, I fucking hate that. It's crazy. What in God's name? Look at healing done, damage done, like all of these stuff, like this shit in the middle. Bro, what is it? You can't even see the screen. You can barely see the boss. What? It's insane. Like, it's so weird. I truly hate add-ons. I hate what we become. It's so annoying. Even Classic is corrupted.
We just don't know some answers to pretty fundamental questions that any MMO player should reasonably be expecting to know.
Classic
The
is
Mists
the
of
same way these
Pandaria
days.
progression realms continue to Warlords of Draenor. If not, what happens to our characters? Will we be able to transfer to retail? Do the servers just stop? Is there Mists of Pandaria error? I find that hard to believe. Will the Anniversary realms become permanent TBC error when they finish? Will there be RAF? Will there not be RAF? Will the Anniversary realms continue progressing?
Either way, it's not fun. Like, permanent TBC server is not fun. Like, constant refreshes are not fun. Constant progress is not fun because eventually the well is going to run dry. There is no other way. Like, in reality, there's just no way out except Classic Plus. The people want a new game. You know, that's pretty much it.
What's happening with Season of Discovery characters? Will these realms be kept alive? Because right now the raiding population has dropped to a very low number, and it's about 1/4 of the players on Classic Era. And given that Season of Discovery is a highly
Is it that bad? Oh my god. Holy, okay, wow, I didn't even know that.
Version of vanilla World of Warcraft, I really find it hard to believe it's going to regain players or people are going to be going back there for nostalgia too much. And perhaps larger than any of these things, and especially for me, is what is Blizzard actually working on for the future beyond Classic just being re-releases? I don't feel as though these are niche, strange questions to be asking. These are basic and fundamental things that players need to know when they're deciding where to invest their time in an MMO.
But again, Blizzard themselves have absolutely no idea what they're gonna do next. That's why their story's garbage. That's why their entire practice is just complete and utter trash. They have no idea what they're doing. They have absolutely no clue where to go. You can see that. They're lost in the fog. There is no way out. Like, they don't know what to do.
Right now, and frankly for a very, very long time, we just don't have the answers to these questions. And whilst I truly believe Blizzard are working on something big for Classic in the background and are going to be waiting a long time before they seriously communicate on it, not knowing the fate of what our characters are doing on any other version of Classic has also really started to grate on me, and
I know what he's talking about. I've heard these rumors too. It's people are saying they're gonna announce at next November, next BlizzCon. No, I think they actually made it earlier, right? It's October, I believe. So yeah. Anyway, next BlizzCon, it is said to be the reveal of Classic Plus, right? That's what I've heard. These is really strong rumors going around right now. I don't think they have any base whatsoever, so take it with a grain of salt, but it can be reality. And if it will be, I really hope they would make it as good as Turtle WoW. I want to see everything changes. I want to see all the classes being completely reimagined, or, you know, should be the way they should have been, like 20 something years ago when the game was first created. Because in case you didn't know, vanilla World of Warcraft was actually a very rushed product. It had many flaws and so much missing content, like Hyjal and Caverns of Time, which came in TBC, but you know, it was supposed to be inside of vanilla, and so much more, right? There should have been like way more zones, way more stuff, like Uldum. Yeah, exactly, right. So many things. So it wasn't a complete experience, but it was still good. So I hope Blizzard would do Classic Plus the way Classic should have been. Like vanilla should have been like this from the start. I really hope they would do that. That would be dope.
Feels bad when I'm considering where I want to play and just having no idea what the long term will be. I want to touch a bit more on the seasonal content in Classic though, because I feel as though it's been indicative on Blizzard's lack of communication across all the different versions of Classic. So I've been in favor of them doing seasonal content. I even did a video literally years before Season of Discovery saying they should do a season called Season of Discovery with class changes. Many of the games, including MMOs, have proven that
That's
seasonal...
crazy. Dude, it reminds me something really crazy that happened like so many years ago. People have literally begged for Classic WoW, and we were being told, you think you do, but you don't. I remember that. Does anyone else remember that? Because I do. And it was so funny where this... when the same guy who told us this sentence announced vanilla WoW. Wasn't it joyful, guys? Wasn't it crazy? I just love irony. It's so good. Like, this is great.
content can work.
It's like the players actually know what they want. It's crazy, right?
School RuneScape does it with leagues. Even retail does it with remix content now. It can absolutely work and be fun when it's executed properly. But the thing is, and the clue is in the name of these types of servers, is that they are seasonal, meaning it lasts a season. Seasons are, you know, about 3 to 4 months long, maybe 5 or 6 at the absolute most. It's supposed to...
Isn't Hearthstone seasons are like 1 year? Like Season of the Dragon, all of that stuff. I'm pretty sure they are.
Yeah,
like, I might be mistaken about that.
Concentrated, focused, predetermined period of time where things are just set to the fun scale level and players set out in the world and see how things have changed. But in Classic, seasons just haven't worked like that. Season of Mastery ran for well over a year, and Season of Discovery has been going for over 2 years at this point in time. These aren't seasons, they're alternate versions of the game which really want to be their own MMOs but ultimately have to be cut short because they are seasons. And it creates problems because we have all these versions of the game running alongside one another. None of them have clear endpoints or directions in the future, and players just don't know where to commit their time to other than, I want to check out the raid in this expansion, and then they start to look around and realize, is there actually any point doing any of this content when I don't know where my character will be? And MMOs, in my opinion, do need that commitment. You need to know where your character is going to end up or be in a year's time or even beyond that. There is an upside to this approach from Blizzard though, and that is flexibility. With a smaller team, they can more quickly redirect and start working on newer projects. In Season of Discovery, they weren't going to do Karazhan Crypts or Scarlet Enclave at one point in time, but then they realised there were a good chunk of players still there and decided to commit to it, and the season really improved for them having done that. But at the same time, this freedom and ability to change has to come with speed, and that's kind of the thing where Blizzard has not done very well overall, because if you look at Season of Discovery, for them to create a brand new raid or dungeon, well, it took them well over a year to do so. And among the indecision across all the various different types of Classic, the player counts are being affected.
But that's also because Blizzard are splitting the development team. Again, like I said, drop retail. We don't need that. Retail is garbage. Just drop retail and unify the entire team, your entire Blizzard World of Warcraft crew, and literally make them work on Classic Plus. That would save you not only money, but so much time. And you can actually get a good product online really quick, and it will be good. Like, there's a really good foundation to work on, especially when you have Chris Metzen on board. I'm sure they can do something amazing. Like, just drop retail. That's it. Like, drop retail, drop Classic. Make Classic Plus. It will be the bestseller. I know it. I wish I could have done this. Like, I honestly do. I wish I was the CEO of Blizzard. I would have immediately sent an order to just abandon everything and make Classic Plus.
When Mr. Pandaria Classic released, it definitely should have done better than Cataclysm did, albeit it didn't have the remainder of the players from...
Yeah, I told you guys. Like I told you, it's so crazy. History literally repeats itself. So many people want to play Classic, and then you have TBC, which actually quite surprised me. I thought it's going to be slightly more than Classic. TBC was actually really good. I enjoyed that. But Ref. Yeah, Ref was the pinnacle. Everyone played here, which is absolutely crazy. And of course, Cataclysm dropped significantly. Pandas. Oh god, nobody want to be a panda, bro. Like, get the hell out of here.
Wrath of the Lich King, but this was an expansion that so many people said was absolutely great, yet it didn't get off to as good of a start as Cataclysm did, and Cataclysm, comparatively, is not an expansion people look back to well. Season of Discovery.
No, I actually think Cata was fine. I think Cata was okay. I mean, I haven't personally played it back in the day, but I mean, it was the beginning of the end, right? That's pretty much what people see Cata like is. But at the same time, it was an okay expansion. It wasn't bad. Like, Mr. Pandaria was trash. Mr. Pandaria was literally where retail began.
Started off incredibly and has naturally dropped off and doesn't have much of a player base left. The anniversary rounds have done well overall. The energy of Fresh is just hard to beat, but we're now approaching that end of expansion period and we're going to see a drop off over the holidays before things start to pick back up in TBC. But here's the thing, whilst there is some semblance of a player base going on here, it's just not going to be comparable to what it could be if we're just re-releasing things again and again, because just copy-pasting the content isn't going to be sustainable long term. There will always be a proportion of the player base who genuinely just want to replay vanilla, TBC and Wrath every couple of years, sure. This is why I've always been in favour of all these versions of WoW having Ever Realms, so we can set players there who happily want to play them, and then put all the time into some brand new project which is going to deliver new content. But re-releasing again and again isn't going to grow the player base. The majority of people...
No, and we've seen it with Turtle WoW's success. Turtle WoW had insane numbers, and that's the reason why Blizzard has decided to, like, give them a cease and desist. But instead of a normal cease and desist, Blizzard actually went a step forward, or, you know, a step further, should I say, and actually try to seize all assets, because they do want everything that Turtle WoW has built during the years. They want to use that for themselves, because, again, they can't create anything new because they're dumb. But, by the way, I'm not advocating for private servers. I think Blizzard has absolutely every right to do so. Like, private servers are bad, and I'm usually against them. But all that I'm saying is that if you don't give people Classic Plus, they would seek this experience somewhere else. And it's even worse because they potentially may be scammed. There's so many fishy, like, private servers out there that steals your data and stuff. Like, you don't want people going there. You want official servers. I don't think that people care coughing a few bucks each month just to play a game that they really enjoy. I personally won't, and I don't have really much money, okay? The reason I'm not playing so many games right now is because I'm like, okay, I don't have time. This is also a really big issue, but I'm also, like, giga broke, okay? But I think most people can cough up a few bucks. I do believe that. So if you would give them that experience, they will pay. Just make it happen. That's it.
People, I think, will check out the content once, say, oh yeah, I've done that, and then leave it the next time. And I think more and more people will realise that horizontal content, or content which isn't in the then and now for the expansion, doesn't serve much of a point. And what I mean by...
Yeah, it doesn't serve much of a point where you have Guild Wars 2 who just does it better, right? Like, why play WoW over and over again when it's not built for, horizontal... Like, how the hell do you say that? Like, horizontal progress, okay? Instead of verticality, right? So, you know, just play Guild Wars 2. It's way better. If you want a horizontal MMO, just literally play that, and that's it. There's no reason to play WoW and being stuck on the same loop over and over again.
And that is you can only play a certain expansion with that expansion's class balance, itemization and so on during that actual expansion. Everything else you're doing, well, who knows whether it's going to carry forward, so why bother even doing it? The nostalgia hook, which Classic has always had, is great for getting people in the door to check out the game, but once they're in the game, eventually there does need to be new stuff to keep people interested in continually playing the game. Again, this is an...
Man, I want to open an Orc Warrior so bad right now. I swear to God, I'm so close to playing the TBC, but I'm not gonna do it, dude. I really want to play Warrior again. I want to play like Prot this time. I don't want to play Fury. I want to play Protection and then roll into Wrath of the Lich King with Titan's Grip. Like, it just respec. It's gonna be so good. Like, I really want to do that, but again, I don't want to play the same game over and over again. I'm just so tired.
MMO, you do need people continually playing the game for it to grow long term and evolve. If it's just re-releasing again and again, it's going to be more of a managed decline. At some point you need new content, new directions, new reasons for players to stay engaged beyond just saying, oh, remember when the game was like this. So what are the big decisions Blizzard has to make? Well, there's going to be 3 in total for 3 different versions of the game.
No, there is no 3. Just literally delete everything and make Classic Plus. That's it.
So the 2019 progression realms are currently in Mists of Pandaria, which means Warlords of Draenor is next in line, and that is going to be complicated because...
By the way, I came into WoW in Warlords of Draenor. I've said this many times, but I guess some of you are new here. Yeah, this wasn't a good decision, Chief. It was so bad, I didn't get what was going on. Legion was better, though.
Of Draenor is widely considered one of the weakest expansions in WoW's history. Garrison-focused gameplay, cut content, and a massive content drought that lasted over a year at the end.
I love the mobile gaming table. I love that. It was so fun. I loved clicking on the dudes and putting them on like the quest, and then I just sent them away and I haven't like done anything else. Like this was awesome. And the good part, like the best part, is you could have done this from your phone too. Like, yeah, this is incredible. I love this.
End of the expansion.
And it was so good that the Blizzard has continued it, like 3 expansion after that even.
That being said, raiding seems to be enough for people to want to play Cataclysm or Mists of Pandaria, so maybe Blizzard do commit to it. Beyond that, do we get Legion? Because I am 100% sure that Legion would not be as popular as people think it would be, and it would suffer the exact same issues of Mists of Pandaria, where remixes already happened, and it just wouldn't feel as polished as retail. For me, I think the only clear answer beyond Mists of Pandaria Classic is that these characters are somehow rolled into retail.
Turtle is made into the water. Like, people want this again. Trust me. Blizzard, listen, take notes.
It sounds drastic, but I don't see another answer that works long term. The second decision will be regarding the anniversary realms. So we're getting TBC in 2026, and that's great and everything. By this time next year, TBC will be winding down, and we'll have probably had Wrath of the Lich King anniversary announced at BlizzCon 2026. And the long-term plan for anniversary will either be, I can see it going 2 ways here. Option 1 is we have era realms of all the different versions of anniversary. So Vanilla era, TBC era, Wrath of the Lich King era, and these era realms are all created when the expansion ends, and after that, if you want to play any of these 3 original versions, you just go to the era realm and there's no more fresh. Option 2 is they do keep repeating things on about a 3-year schedule, where you have a vanilla fresh that drops off into era, a TBC fresh into era, and a Wrath fresh in.
That would quite literally be the nightmare scenario. Just being stuck in a matrix and doing the same shit over and over again until the rest of your days. That's crazy, dude. That actually would be wild, even for Blizzard. That would be a low point.
Into era. That being said, I think this one's less likely because it's going to compete with other versions of World of Warcraft that are coming out, and it's just re-releasing the same content again and again, so I think the player base will gradually diminish over time, and ultimately it would just be better long term to commit to era. The third big choice is of course about Classic Plus. It's what everyone's been talking about for a long time now, and it's what Blizzard has been working on behind the scenes, according to their very own statements. The widespread expectation.
Oh, interesting. There was an official statement from Blizzard? Okay, that's interesting. I haven't heard about this. Okay. Interesting, interesting.
From the community is that Classic Plus will be unveiled at BlizzCon
Yeah,
2026, but
exactly. This is
waiting
what I
that long
told
for
you.
basic information is going to hurt quite a bit. I'm just going to say the last major communication on Classic Plus came with Blizzard's announcement that they were stopping development on Season of Discovery to work on other projects. That was at the
Okay,
end of May in
okay.
2025. If it's expected to be September 2026 just for an announcement for Classic
Oh,
Plus,
God.
that would be basically a 16-month content drought in this space, and it would be even longer than that before the release. That would make this the
Yeah.
longest content
I think it's fine. I don't think we need to be like this constant high dopamine creature that needs to like get our fix every 2 months or we die. I think it's completely fine for Blizzard to go radio silent and then absolutely bomb us with information. Like, there you go, here's Classic Plus, look at this brand new experience, and you're about to get it like, what, next month? Like, everyone would play it. They should use that radio silence to to their utmost advantage, right? They should use that to just keep everyone in the dark, and then when the right time comes, they would show up like an angel, like Tyrael from Diablo, okay? They would literally show up and they're like, here's Classic Plus, enjoy. People would subscribe in such an insane amount. I promise you, it's gonna break the internet. Like, it's gonna be the next big MMO, which is funny to think to say about World of Warcraft, which is already like the biggest MMO, right? So it's really interesting to see. I mean, I really hope they would do that. That would definitely be dope. But I just hope they can make Classic Plus, man, because I've said my frustration already, and I heard so many people are saying the same. They don't think Blizzard is capable of making Classic Plus. I really hope they looked at Turtle WoW and took notes. I really hope they do, because Turtle WoW was so good. I enjoyed playing that server so much. But I really want an official experience. Like, I want an official server. I have no problem with paying. Just give it to me, okay? Just literally give it to me, and I'll play it till the end of my days.
drought World of Warcraft has seen ever. Both WoD to Legion and Legion to BFA were about a 14-month content drought, by the way, but I guess we at least have other versions of WoW to play, unlike with those
If you think someone is playing BFA Classic, you're dead wrong, brother. Like, that's not gonna happen, chief.
two expansions. And I don't want to be overly negative about the state of Classic because there is so much potential here. I've always believed that since I've been making content on this game since its very beginning. The 2019 launch of Classic WoW was one of the biggest moments in Blizzard's history. Classic directly spawned organic, community-created game modes like Hardcore that drove massive interest and engagement to the game. And Classic and Vanilla just feels as though it has more hype and interest surrounding it. People constantly want to watch it or hear about it or discuss it. It's over 20 years old now, but this game just has a buzz about it that's never died. Classic and the world is special, but
and there's a reason for it. I really hope Blizzard would understand that. Like, we don't want the fast-paced Mythic Plus trash gameplay. Like, we don't want that. The 1%ers do, and that's why you're left with the 1%ers and the min-maxers. You don't need to aim for them. You need to aim for the 70 to 80% of players in the middle. That's how you get popular. That's how you succeed. You don't cater to the 1%. Like, never. It doesn't work. Like, it's so stupid, like, to even assume that. That's why I really hope when they make Classic Plus, they return back to their roots, and they make slower game with not much of an RP, just let us soak in the environment, let us enjoy the world, and read our quests and at our own pace, like, right? Like, everything would be good. Just make it slower. That's it. I have no problem with new engine, by the way. I'm not advocating for the old engine. I think the new engine is great, and it's fun, and it's good. But the pace needs to be slower, okay? We need at least 10 seconds to defeat one brown bear when we begin our journey.
its future can't just always be the same content again and again. If we continue down our current path, by this time next year, we would have Warlords of Draenor Classic, assuming the MOP realms go that way, Anniversary realms with a question mark about where they're going, and Classic Plus with a, well, we don't.
To be honest, I thought they're not gonna do Mist of Pandaria Classic, but I was wrong. I think what they were trying to do with Mist of Pandaria is kind of test the waters and see if the response will be good enough to actually justify Draenor Classic, right? I think they're kind of testing the waters with Mr. Pandaria because it was obvious they're gonna reach until Kata, But Mr. Pandaria, I think it's a test. If enough players will play it, they will make Draenor, for sure. If they do it right now, after I've seen like the stats and stuff, damn, maybe. I'm not sure. It's Blizzard. Maybe they will try to squeeze in a few more bucks, but I'm pretty sure like that's it. Like no way. I highly doubt they will do Draenor. But I would not also be surprised if they will do.
No, maybe we'll do it, maybe we won't kind of attitude. But imagine an alternative where Blizzard really commits to a roadmap for all the different versions of World of Warcraft in 2026. Nope. They unveil Classic Plus, they say what's going to be happening with Anniversary Realms, and they announce what the future of Classic Progression Realms will be too. It could absolutely revitalize Classic and set in motion a long-term plan that this game has been missing for such a long time now. And if you're having fun with any version of WoW, be it Anniversary or otherwise, that's great. Genuinely, I'm not trying to rain on anyone's parade here, but here's a reality. For example, for Anniversary, in a month, you'll be moving to TBC, and nothing you've done in Vanilla will matter anymore. And about a year from now, nothing you will have done in TBC will matter anymore. And you don't know if Wrath of the Lich King is happening or not. It's just temporary, it's fleeting, there's no permanence here. I really want to know what's happening in the future so I can commit my time. This might be fine for some players, but it's grown to be a bit of a turn-off for me. In fact, for me personally, I can tell you this is a direct contributor about why I didn't play Mr. Pandaria Classic. Not only did I do a lot of the content in that expansion back in the day, but I just don't know what happens in the future. I'm not very interested in doing the horizontal content when I don't know where my character will be going. And the only real appeal of the continual Classic Progression Realms for me would be the raiding. And I have always been a big raiding enjoyer, but it's become apparent to me that just raiding alone isn't enough. The game literally has more content than Vanilla or TBC or Wrath in Mr. Pandaria, but it just feels emptier than ever because I only really care about logging in a few times a week to clear the raid and then logging off again.
Exactly, because the games are already solved. You're not really excited for the world anymore. You're not really excited for the story. You know the Lich King is about to die, right? You know the Illidan is going to be in the Black Temple holding Gul'dan's skull. Like, you know all of this stuff. And it's lost all the flavor it used to have, right? All the gravity behind it. There is no force pulling you into the game anymore. It's over. That's why we want something new. Like, give us a completely reimagined World of Warcraft. That's what we want to see. Like, we want to see what's supposed to be. Like, we want tier hands. We want, like, tier hand raid. We want, like, Scarlet Monastery raid, maybe. Even though I did, like, the dungeons. Like, maybe make it a raid. Like, change a lot of things. Just surprise us, right? Give us a new version of Hyjal. Like, all of that kind of stuff that can be easily implemented inside of the game. Well, not really easily. Just really carefully to be implemented into the game. But again, you have Chris Metzen. Like, you can do that. You can do that. Just make the right decision, Blizzard. That's it.
Raiding's gone from one of my favorite things to do in the game to, oh, I have raid tonight, I need to log in. It's almost become a chore for me, and that's just a terrible feeling. Raiding used to be the capstone of the content in WoW, something you'd look forward to once or twice a week on top of everything else the game offered. Now it's like a reminder of, oh, I need to log in today to do the raid and then log out because there's just nothing else for me to care about here. Classic deserves better than this. The community deserves better. And I genuinely believe Blizzard realize this. They've said as much in their statements about working on something big for Classic's future. Now they just need to follow through. 2026 is the year where this has to happen. Blizzard has to commit because frankly they're running out of time to keep waiting any longer. It'll be time to communicate, give us real information about where Classic is headed, what they're working on, and what the long-term vision actually will be. Because if we reach the end of 2026 with just question marks still hanging over the future of Classic, I don't really know where the game can go from there, beyond just its nostalgia. The framework is very much there for Classic to grow into something amazing. The community is absolutely there for it, the passion from the players is there. All that's missing is for Blizzard to finally let us know what will be happening. I just hope that it's worth the wait. That being said, let me know your thoughts on the current state of...
Oh, this seems like the end of the video. Great video, by the way. I enjoyed it a lot. I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can watch it for yourself. But I mean, yeah, he's absolutely right. The Blizzard do need to be kind of transparent about the future. That being said, personally for me, I don't care if they go radio silent and then just completely surprise us with a Classic Plus at BlizzCon. I have no problem with that whatsoever, but they do need to make it fast. They do need to make it like 2026 is their deadline. Otherwise, I think they're just kind of lost. I don't think there's any saving to WoW. Like, Classic Plus needs to happen. It needs to happen.